Welcome to Who Would Have Known. Today we're going to talk about how they make people hate religion. And it might sound crazy, but there's actually some people out there that have the technology to actually get this done. So I'm going to show you a video. It's going to have a gentleman talking to some other people in a conference room, and they are talking about how they can actually take what they consider religious extremists and make them non-religious. And it's a pretty interesting way of how they plan on doing this, and they kind of lay it all out and explain it a little bit. But after the video, we'll talk about it a little bit more.
Excuse me, on the left over here, we have individuals who are religious fundamentalists, religious fanatics, and this is the expression, RT-PCR, real-time PCR expression of the VMAT2 gene. Over here, we have individuals. So let me complete. So over here we have individuals who are not particularly fundamentalist, not particularly religious, and you can see there's a much reduced expression of this particular gene, the VMAT2 gene. Another evidence that supports our hypothesis for the development of this approach.
What you see here is by spreading this virus, we're going to eliminate individuals from donning on a bomb vest and going into a market and blowing up the market.
So our hypothesis is that these are fanatical people, that they have overexpression of the VMAT2 gene, and that by vaccinating them against this, we'll eliminate this behavior. So we have some very, very remarkable data in this next slide. Here we have two brain scans. These are fMRIs. These are two different individuals with different levels of expression of VMAT2. On top is an individual who's a religious fanatic, an individual, and we've repeated this numerous times, that has high levels of VMAT2. Now, this individual down here who had low levels of the VMAT2 gene, this individual would self-describe as not particularly religious. In each case, these individuals were read a religious text. This individual lit up the right middle frontal gyrus, shown here, and that's a part of the brain that's associated with theory of mind. It's a part of the brain that has to do with intents and beliefs and desires. In marked contrast, here's an individual who would not particularly self-describe as religious, and when they're read a religious text, what you see is that this part of the brain called the anterior insula lights up. This is a part of the brain that's associated with disgust or displeasure on hearing something.
So you're suggesting I take a CT scan with me when I'm evaluating people to determine whether I put a bullet in their head?
So the data that I'm presenting here supports the concept that we're proposing, and I think that we would not propose to do CT scans or fMRIs on individuals out in the hinterlands of Afghanistan. The virus would immunize against this VMAT2 gene, and that would have the effect that you see here, which is it's essentially to turn a fanatic into a normal person. And we think that will have major effects in the Middle East.
How would you suggest that this is going to be dispersed? The aerosol?
Well, so the present plan and the tests that we've done so far have used respiratory viruses, such as flu or rhinoviruses, and we believe that that's a satisfactory way to get the exposure of the largest part of the population. Most of us, of course, have been exposed to both of those viruses. And we're quite confident that this will be a very successful approach.
This is fascinating. What's the name of this proposal?
Yeah, so the name of this project is FunVax, which is the vaccine for religious fundamentalism.
And you have a proposal already?
The proposal has just been submitted, and I think that the data that I have shown you today would support the development of this project.
That was interesting. And one of the ways that they could do this is by using CRISPR. It's a gene editing program. So CRISPR stands for clustered, regularly interspaced, short palindromic repeats of genetic information that some bacterial species use as part of an antiviral system. A group of scientists discovered how to use the system as a gene editing tool. And this stuff to me is actually really super cool. But unfortunately, it seems like that anyone who ever actually gets to implement really cool technology like this is usually some kind of Bond villain. Because even though the gentleman in this video stated that they were only going to use it for religious extremists, well, unfortunately, someone else could use it for all religions and everyone that's religious. Could you imagine waking up one morning and going to get an annual vaccination from the doctor, and then right after that you're not religious anymore? That's pretty crazy to think about. And that's pretty crazy technology that they have. Unfortunately, I don't think that this has people's best interest in mind. But it's a crazy world out there, so y'all stay safe, because who would have known?